The Young and the Restless Spoilers. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today is a beautiful day, but the drama in Genoa City is absolutely tearing us apart. Grab your coffee, your tea, or maybe something stronger, because we need to sit down and process the absolute madness that just unfolded on our screens. Let's dive right into it. I literally cannot even breathe right now. I am sitting here staring at my screen. My jaw is completely on the floor and my hands are actually shaking as I type this because I am just so incredibly angry and devastated. I mean, are you kidding me right now? Jack Abbott? The Jack Abbott? I just watched the latest episode and I am absolutely losing my mind over what Dr. Lawrence Markham and Patty Williams just did. I have been watching this show religiously since 2015, and I have seen some wild, unhinged storylines in my time. But this is easily one of the darkest, most twisted, and most disgusting things they have ever written. I am half celebrating the sheer drama of it all and half complaining because I am so emotionally exhausted by what they are putting the Abbott family through. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. My brain is going a million miles a minute. Okay, back to the point. Let's start with that absolute train wreck of a confrontation in the park. Can we talk about this? Because the sheer audacity of Patty Williams is something that needs to be studied by medical professionals. So, Markham meets Patty in the park, and she has the absolute nerve to look at him and ask, "Why did you let that idiot Diane win and escape? I am sorry, but what?" Patty is really going to stand there and act like she is the mastermind of the century when her entire plan has been falling apart since day one? And then Markham, who is usually so creepy and calm, just snaps back at her. He points out that stabbing the man she is supposedly so obsessed with and in love with was never part of the plan. Because, yeah, Patty literally stabbed Jack. I know some people are loving this villain era for Patty, but personally, I am just exhausted by her delusions. She claims she loves Jack, she blackmails him for sex by holding Diane hostage, and then when things go wrong, she just stabs him? And then she has the gall to blame Markham for Diane getting away? It is peak Patty Williams delusion, and I am so here for the drama, but also so frustrated by her character's complete lack of logic. But then the conversation takes a turn that literally made my blood run cold. Patty looks at Markham, her eyes all wide and crazy, and reminds him that they are in this together. And then she says it. She actually says the quiet part out loud. "We are not safe as long as Jack Abbott is alive. No, 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 no." When she said that, I actually screamed at my television. Because you just know when a soap villain says a legacy character needs to die, we are about to get a hospital infiltration scene. And I was right. So, they decide they have to kill Jack, because of course they do. They can't just cut their losses and run away like normal criminals. No, they have to double down on the absolute evil. Cut to the dead of night at Genoa City Memorial Hospital. And can I just go on a quick tangent here? Am I the only one who thinks Genoa City Memorial needs to fire their entire security staff? I mean, how many times have villains sneaked into this hospital to finish off a patient? Remember when they tried this with other characters in the past? Yeah, the security is a joke. But I digress. So, Patty and Markham disguise themselves as doctors. They put on the white coats, they sneak through the dimly lit hallways, and the suspense was literally killing me. The lighting in this scene was so eerie, so dark, just casting these sinister shadows over their faces. You could hear the squeak of their shoes on the linoleum and the slow, rhythmic beeping of Jack's heart monitor from down the hall. It was like something out of a horror movie, not a daytime drama. I was sitting on the edge of my seat, biting my nails, just praying that someone, anyone, would walk out of an elevator and catch them. Where is Kyle? Where is Billy? Where is literally any nurse on the night shift? They slip into Jack's room, and there he is. Jack Abbott, the patriarch of the Abbott family, lying there completely helpless and vulnerable after already surviving a stab wound from this absolute psychopath of a woman. And Patty, because she is just completely unhinged, pulls out a knife. A knife? In a hospital? She is ready to just hack him to pieces right there in the ICU. But Markham stops her, because Markham is the cold, calculating type of evil. He doesn't want a bloodbath. He doesn't want to leave forensic evidence all over the crime scene. He wants it to look natural, or at least ambiguous enough to buy them time. So what does this monster do? He grabs a pillow. I am tearing up just typing this. He takes the pillow and he presses it down hard over Jack's face. I can't believe they did that. I literally cannot unsee the visual of Markham holding that pillow down, suffocating Jack, while Patty just stands there watching with those dead, crazy eyes. The way Jack's body might have struggled, the way the heart monitor started going crazy, the sheer brutality of smothering a man who is already fighting for his life, it is just so incredibly disgusting. Are they really that evil? Yes. Yes, they are. I have always known Patty was dangerous. I mean, she poisoned Summer Newman years ago. She stole Emily Peterson's face. She has done horrific things. But this? Teaming up with a corrupt, sadistic doctor to smother the love of her life with a hospital pillow? It is a whole new level of depravity. And let's talk about Markham for a second. Who even is this guy? We all know the rumors. We all know the speculation that Markham is actually Martin Laurent with a surgically altered face. And honestly, after watching him coldly and methodically try to suffocate Jack Abbott without even blinking, I believe it. Only someone as deeply twisted as Martin could pull off something this clinical and heartless. He didn't even hesitate. He just took the pillow and pressed it down. It makes my stomach turn just thinking about it. But wait, because this is where my emotions are completely contradicting themselves. As much as I am traumatized by this scene, I am also screaming with joy because of what we know happens next with Tracy Abbott. Oh my God, Tracy. Because, let me tell you, if there is one person in Genoa City you do not mess with, it is Tracy Abbott when it comes to her family. Tracy is the sweetest, kindest, most pure soul on this show. She is the moral compass. But when she finds out what happened to Jack, when she realizes that Patty and Markham are behind this, Tracy completely snaps, and I am so proud of her. We know from the timeline that Tracy gets so furiously angry that she tracks Patty down. Tracy doesn't wait for the police. She doesn't wait for Detective Burrow to bumble his way through an investigation. Tracy takes matters into her own hands. She finds Patty, and she literally grabs her by the hair. Tracy Abbott dragging Patty Williams by the hair. Put it in the Louvre. Hang it in a museum. It is the most satisfying thing I have ever witnessed. Tracy screams at her, threatens her, and absolutely terrorizes Patty until Patty completely breaks down and confesses everything. Tracy makes Patty admit that she is the one who stabbed Jack. She makes her admit that Markham is the mastermind behind the whole kidnapping and the hospital attack. And the best part? This confession is the exact evidence they need to prove Diane's innocence. Because for weeks, Diane has been looking like she lost her mind, locked in that padded cell, being gaslit by Markham. But Tracy, beautiful, fierce, protective Tracy, gets the confession. She forces Patty to own up to her horrific actions. If you have the guts to do it, you should have the guts to confess, Tracy says. And she is so right. I mean, the emotional whiplash of this episode is just too much. One minute I am crying because Jack is being smothered with a pillow, and the next minute I am cheering because Tracy is going full vigilante on Patty. It is the best and worst of soap opera storytelling all wrapped into one massive anxiety-inducing package. But now I am just sitting here spiraling about Jack's fate. Is he really dead? I mean, they can't kill off Jack Abbott, right? Peter Bergman is an absolute legend. He is the young and the restless. Soap deaths are rarely permanent, but that smothering scene looked so brutal and so final. If Jack's heart monitor flatlined, how are they going to bring him back? Is he going to end up in a coma? Is he going to have severe brain damage? I am dreading the next few episodes because I just know we are going to get those agonizing hospital waiting room scenes with Kyle pacing the floors, Billy looking guilty and angry, and Tracy crying her eyes out. And what about Diane? She escaped Markham, but she is still out there, probably traumatized and terrified. When she finds out what Patty and Markham did to Jack while she was on the run, she is going to lose whatever is left of her sanity. Diane has always been a fighter, but this might actually break her. I know Diane has a lot of haters in the fandom, And I know she has done some terrible things in the past, but nobody deserves to be kidnapped, gaslit, and then have their husband smothered by a deranged stalker and a fake doctor. I am just so emotionally invested in this Abbott family drama right now. I want to see Patty locked away in a maximum security prison for the rest of her life. I don't want to see her in a cushy mental health facility where she can just escape again in 3 years. I want her behind bars. And I want Markham, or Martin, or whoever he really is, to face the absolute wrath of Victor Newman. Because let's be real, if Jack dies, Victor is going to have some complicated feelings about losing his greatest rival, and he might just take Markham out himself. Am I the only one who is this worked up about this? I know some people are probably saying, "Oh, it's just a soap. Jack will be fine." But I am sorry. I care. I have spent years watching these characters, and seeing them put through this level of physical and psychological torture is just exhausting. I need Jack to wake up. I need him to open his eyes, look at Diane, and tell her everything is going to be okay. Because if they actually kill off Jack Abbott with a hospital pillow, I might actually have to boycott the show. Okay, I need to go drink some water and calm down before I have a panic attack over fictional characters. But seriously, what did you guys think of that horrific hospital scene? Were you screaming at the TV like I was? And how iconic was Tracy finally snapping? Let me know, because I desperately need to vent with people who understand this level of obsession.